Yes, well, I was talking a lot about the Latin American perspective, and we see that, of course, we need price signals. However, we discovered with empirical evidence that the price signals, we respond less than in developed countries. So in this case, I think it's not an accident that we respond less, because I think we don't have enough substitutes of good technologies or access to green technologies. Therefore, you need to have price signals, but you need to accompany those signals with a lot of other policy measures, such as regulations and green technology, funding, etc.
And you make a good point about not having access to those technologies. Is that as big a problem as anything else? The fact that you don't have the intellectual property rights to necessarily roll these out. So is that something you'd like to see worked on?
Yes, because I think what is happening in Latin America, at least, is that basically we need to have a low carbon economy. It's not only price signals, because we lack technology, we lack other aspects. So we really need to have an affordable and enough supply of these things. Otherwise, it won't work. It will just be higher prices, and it will just shock negatively the economy. I think in Latin America what we are really trying to find is a way to keep fast economic growth, but in a low carbon context. And that's a big challenge for the next decades. It's not easy to do it, and in that case I think in a global economy we need to do it in an integrated world using policies that they are more or less agree with the rest of the world.
And looking back at tonight's event, tell me a bit about some of the concepts and ideas that you found interesting that perhaps you may take back to your colleagues and discuss at greater length.
Well, there was a very interesting discussion of how to harmonize the fiscal policy, or if there is options to harmonize fiscal policies such as a carbon tax or certain subsidies. I think that's a very interesting idea because it's very simple, and you can use either a carbon tax or a cap trade system. However, I think we need to address the specific of different regions. For example, we find that Latin America, the correlation between economic growth and the consumption of energy is very close. It's bigger than in other regions. Therefore, same economic rate, growth of rate in all the world implies in Latin America a bigger rate in consumption of energy. So those things, before we make big treatments, we need to address those things and know how we are going to reduce our energy dependence and to increase our price signal sensibility.